Hey everyone, Complex back with another video, and today we're back to Dragon Age Inquisition, and we're going to talk about Frosty mods. Over the last year or so, the Frosty modding scene for DAI has pretty much had a huge boost in some really awesome mods. And today I want to chat with you about some of the mods that I personally am now considering essential when I'm using Frosty mods in Dragon Age Inquisition. So let's just dive on into it. So the first mod that I have for you is called Speed Launch. This is going to accelerate how quickly you are able to get into the game by cutting out things like the click to continue when you first start up the game, as well as the BioWare logo little movie. So it's not necessarily going to change how long it physically takes your computer to load you into the game, but it is going to speed up everything else that happens in between your computer loading into the game and then getting you to the main menu. And as another cool little thing that came with this mod, there is now a jump to map feature in the main menu, which allows you to jump to any of the maps in the game if you'd, let's say, like to test out a particular mod by doing that, or if you just kind of want to explore or even just hop in and kind of play around super casually, you now have the ability to do that. There is also a .dai version of this mod that if you prefer to use that, it is available as well, but I personally find that this works much better as a Frosty mod. Now up next, we have Enhanced Character Creation by Kingslayer. If you've seen any of my previous Dragon Age Inquisition modding videos, you will know how utterly obsessed I am with this mod. It is just hands down the most important mod I have ever put into the load order, either the .dai mod or the Frosty version. Now the Frosty version though is a much more robust mod comparatively to the .dai mod version. For instance, you have different skin texture blends that you can do, different skin distinctions. The freckles have their own slider for an intensity now. You can play around with like eye puff, stuff like that. And with the newer updates, things have been organized a little bit better. For instance, there is now a hair section, and then there is an eye section, and the eyebrows now are kind of tucked away in there, so you can edit eyebrows, eyebrow color, and all of that. So even the opacity of your eyebrows you can edit now, which is a really nice feature. So overall, if you're somebody that enjoys character creation, even just a tiny bit, you have to at least install this once and check it out. You will not be able to go back to the old school character creator once you give it a go. For the third mod that I have for you, it's actually not one, but two mods. So first up is Hairstyle Day DAI, and the second one is a miscellaneous hairstyle. Both of these mods have fantastic hairstyles for Frosty, and I've actually personally tried out different hairstyles from both of them, and both have just utterly stunning. They fit the scalps for the respective characters really well. They just look beautiful in game. They screenshot beautifully. So if you've ever wanted to test out Frosty hairstyles, I cannot recommend either one of these mods enough for it. Now, the one thing I do want to make note of is that when you mod for Frosty hair, it's a little different than what we used to do for .dai mods. For instance, you don't need a scalp retexture unless the mod author specifically says, here is a scalp retexture for this one. And then the other one is that you don't need a hair retexture generally for Frosty hair. Just because of the way Frosty mods are built, the hair, you don't necessarily want to use a separate retexture on it. So you do want to make sure that you're reading whatever it is that the mod author has said. Now, the last thing that I do want to mention about this is for the miscellaneous hairstyle mod, there are a few different hair mods that have a special custom texture written on the download for the mod. And so if you load it into the character creator, it can look a little scary in the character creator just because of how the textures look given whatever is going on in the character creator at that time. When you load in game, everything should look totally fine. It was a little frightening the first time I saw it, and then I loaded and I was like, oh, okay, we're good. So just bear that in mind if you are using one of the ones with the custom hair texture from the miscellaneous hairstyle mod. Now for number 4, it's not a mod, it's a mod author, Caffeine Painter. I've talked about them before in previous mod videos, and the Frosty mods that Caffeine Painter has done are just completely phenomenal. There are a host of brand new, like built from scratch mod armors, and the one that you're seeing in the footage currently is one of them, and then there are a few others, and they are just beautiful. They give you just a whole new level of gameplay experience just because it's not what you're used to, and the The textures on them are beautiful, they have personality to them, and they really do help you create a very unique Inquisitor. On top of that, Caffeine Painter has done a few different texture replacer mods. For instance, completely redoing just a few of the different weapons. I think there's like a Mythal statue redo and stuff like that. So if you're somebody that wants to dive into Frosty modding, I would definitely suggest just heading over to their mod page and checking out everything that they have and picking and choosing what is your favorite. Up next, I have for you Northern Lights in Thedas. Now, this mod will change the sky texture and a few different visual environment settings. And I can't lie, completely obsessed with it. It was just enough of a refresh to almost make the game feel not, I don't want to say like brand new or anything like that, but it honestly was just enough to make me go, oh, what's over there? Just a little bit more. A lot of us have put a ton of time into Dragon Age Inquisition, and we already know a lot of the areas, but this mod just allows it to feel a little bit more new and a little bit more exciting comparatively to what it was without it. So if you're looking for something that does a little bit of a visual enhancer without necessarily changing a lot of things or slowing down your FPS by a metric boatload, this is definitely a mod I would suggest installing and checking out. Not to mention, it also removes the artificial vignetting that is put over the game, and that in and itself makes the game infinitely more beautiful. So definitely check this out if you haven't yet. Now, the last, and for myself personally, arguably the most important mod I have for you today is the Dialogue Wheel Overhaul mod. This mod is probably going to be the most essential mod that I have in my load order going forward when using Frosty mods. It completely overhauls the dialogue wheel. It makes it more coherent. It makes it more functional. It makes it so you know more clearly what dialogue option you are going to be picking by just kind of updating the prompt for it. There are now icons that will indicate the tonality of the option that you're picking. So if you're somebody that really likes that experience that we had in like DA2 or MEA, with tonality options, you definitely have that now incorporated with this mod. I feel like I've seen dialogue that I've never seen before in this game, and it's bringing to light different options that were either never accessible or just for whatever reason your Inquisitor couldn't say them, or they were hidden before, and there's just a lot more in it. I have played this game a stupid number of times, and using this mod, I saw a dialogue option for my Inquisitor that I have never seen before. Not to mention, I actually was able to stop and think about what my Inquisitor was going to say a little bit better and go, oh, is that what that line says? Because I had never used it before because the prompt hadn't made sense. And now with this mod, the prompts do actually make sense. So if you're somebody that has played before or maybe never has, and you're just looking for something a little bit more cohesive with the dialogue wheel, something that allows you to know, oh, this is where I'm exiting, or this is where I'm going to make this kind of tonality decision, anything like that, this is definitely a must-have. Now, a few things, though, to note. This mod is still being updated and worked on periodically, so make sure that you are paying attention to any updates to it. The other thing is there is an entire PDF guide that you can either view online or you can download for yourself, and I would highly suggest checking that out before going forward with this mod, as there's a lot of good information in it, especially what each of the tonality options might mean, the new structure of the dialogue wheel, like what each of the areas is now for, what the plans are going forward, known bugs, compatibility, stuff like that. And with a mod this size, you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to compatibility with other mods you may have installed. The other thing is that this mod is recommended on a new playthrough, so make sure that you do bear that in mind if you decide to install it. And there you have it. Those are what I consider my top 6 essential Frosty exclusive mods that I cannot get enough of and probably will never, ever leave my load order from here on out. Now, if you have never installed Frosty mods, or you're having trouble installing them, or you're trying to make .dai mods and Frosty mods work, I do have entire tutorials for those. I will link the playlist in the description down below. I also do have a few other modding spotlight and top favorite mods for DAI, as well as DA2 and DAO, just in case you're going to be going on a Dragon Age binge sometime in the near future. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night and or day, depending on where you are in the world, and I will catch you next time. Bye, guys.